This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We're now at home in the living room. Today we're going to talk about the charging session of the BYD Sealion 7. And this is the 93 or the 91.3 kilowatt hour battery. So yeah, unfortunately I couldn't get in the garage, so there might be some noises from the kitchen. I closed the door at least. But okay, so let me just roll the tape here. I include a bunch of other cars in similar price range, but actually Sealion 7 is the cheapest one. And you see the G9 goes straight to 280 kilowatt, like a boss. Sealion 7 is only at 124 kilowatt, because usually when it starts charging, the battery is only around 20 degrees Celsius. And I include Tang because that's also a BYD with blade battery, and then also ID4. ID4 charges like a boss also, just like G6, but then for some reason, I think maybe the stereo charge scale is, a stereo charging display on the ID4 is not exactly what you see in the display. It's just slightly off that, but okay. But you see that G6 has a massive lead over Sealion 7 at least, and but at least Sealion 7 will go higher and higher in speed eventually because the battery slowly heats up. But when I try to manually preheat, it doesn't preheat. It just says, oh, the battery is in good condition, battery is in good temperature. Well, okay, and then this happens, and then it goes kind of slow in the beginning. And I also include Tang because we have a blade battery, and you can see the battery temperature on Tang has a huge gap between min and max temp versus ID4. You see that German tech, only 4 degrees Celsius between min and max, and actually the ID4 even goes beyond 50 degrees Celsius and it doesn't really replicate, you know, whereas Tang just has a massive gap. And then you can expect the Sealion 7 to be roughly the same, even though the Sealion 7 is a newer platform and so on. It's supposed to have better cooling. I'm actually not sure about that, but there, boom, at 44%, it hit 185 kilowatt, and that's the maximum I've seen over and over again when they did also 1,000 kilometer challenge. But then it doesn't get there that long, and then it just starts throttling naturally because maybe the state of charge is too high. But actually right now G6 has a massive lead over the other ones. Wow, ID4 starts going kind of slow, but the G6 can still maintain very good speed. And Tang is just the slowest of them all, really, despite that it has the biggest battery. We are looking at percentage here anyway. So Sealion 7, on the other hand, starts going kind of fast. Oh, there's some stuff going on in the kitchen, sorry about that. I will try to talk a little bit louder because Isabel is really loud once you start. Yeah, there it goes, yeah. But you can see that at least Sealion 7 has a nice comeback. It has this flat curve, even close to 70%. It goes really, really flat. I need to check out what the heck is going on over there. But I think Mama has it under control now. Just Isabel being a toddler. But you guys just see now, G6 goes kind of slow, but it already, well, it's about to hit 90% already. Wow, that is really fast. It seems like it's going to be a winner. ID4 is right behind, and then Sealion 7 is gaining. Actually, it is gaining kind of fast. It goes so fast, but then bam, at 79%, it just crumbles. I think it's been pre-programmed to go quite fast to 80%, and then it just yeah, and then it goes really slow. G6 already hit 90%. It was the fastest to 90%, and then we're gonna go to 100%. Also, the victory run. ID4 is going to take the second place to 90%, and then I think Sealion 7 will be the third. Yeah, now, sorry for the background noise. Now you guys understand why I cannot get inside the car. There you go. The ID4 hit 90%. G6 is already on the way to 100%. Well, can we just, well, okay. And then what about the other cars? They are kind of getting there, but you see at this point that the Sealion 7 goes so slow past 80% that it's almost pointless to go past 80%. What about Tang? Well, we're gonna see. Also now the G6 is going kind of slow, but it's already at 96%. It's so much faster than Sealion 7. And the craziest thing is that the Sealion 7 cost 470k NOK, and the G6 now cost 500k, so just slightly more. ID4 depends how you spec it, but you should spec something like a GTX, then it's going to be a lot more expensive than the two to the left, the two Chinese cars. And Tang, well, I mean, Tang is the flagship right now. Wow, right now it's actually quite neck and neck between the G6 and the ID4. Wow, what the heck happened there? It's like the turtle versus the hare. So the G6 was fast in the beginning, had a little nice lead, but now the ID4 is going to take maybe a little lead over the G6. What the heck is going on there? Both of them are 99%. Which car is going to go to 100%? It's like the bonus victory here. It's going to be ID4. Oh no, the G6 won. Oh, double win for the G6, and then ID4 hit 100%. And now we only have, well, the two other Chinese cars. Yeah, I should have included some, maybe some Korean cars in the mix here, but then the screen would be quite full. But, well, I was going to show you that the Tang can actually maintain okay speed past 80%. But Sealion 7, on the other hand, is like, is it even a point to charge to 100%? No, not really. Yeah, but also here, let's look again on the purple there. At least when ID4 hit 100%, the min temp is 36.5 and the max temp is 39. So we're talking about 3 degrees Celsius delta between min and max. That is simply amazing. That is what makes Deutsche Elektroautos so good. Yeah, and well, except for that Volkswagen, they bought Xpeng. I'm not sure what they are looking for. Maybe they need some 800-volt architecture from Xpeng. Yeah, well, you see now, you see why Volkswagen went for Xpeng, because Xpeng is the winner, double win. Yeah, well, I mean, the ID4 was not that far behind. But look at Tang, how big the gap is. But I've seen even bigger than that, 38 to 53 degrees. Well, that's 15 degrees Celsius gap between min and max. Why is this a problem? Well, because I think that's what I'm guessing is going on with the Sealion, is that when it started charging, the lowest cell was simply too low, right? Or it was at around 20 degrees Celsius. And then that dictates how fast it can charge. But then eventually the highest cells will be too high, and then it rapid gates, or I don't know. But then supposedly this is the Achilles heel of the BYD Blade battery, is that it has fairly high energy density for LFP battery, but then it seems to suffer in cooling. But, you know, they are not the... Well, now they're happy. What the heck, man, kids? But you see, they are not the only Chinese that uses LFP battery, right? We have Seeker 7X. It charges like about the golden battery. What did they do? Did they put gold in there? I don't know. But Seeker charges like a boss and supposedly doesn't rapid gate, or I don't know. But yeah, okay. And here we see the charging curve. Xpeng G6 just charges like a boss. Bam! Way faster than the other. Way above the other, even until 35% or something. And even then, it just stays above most of them. What is it? Sealion 7 actually had okay here, but it was just so slow in the beginning here, you know? Yeah, well, okay, it's fine if we charge fast here, but if we charge slow in the beginning, yeah, then that doesn't go that fast. And I also saw on the EVKX site about the charging session of Sealion 7. Supposedly, I don't know where he got the data from, but it was charging fast in the beginning, but then it just plummeted in speed. I'm guessing it rapid gated. That's why. You guys saw also the Tang. You know, why do I keep mentioning Tang? Because both of these are LFP batteries, blade batteries. And the Tang, if you start with a hotter session, it will just plummet earlier. And that's probably also what happened to Sealion. So I was a bit disappointed, because I was hoping that the Sealion would have a flatter curve, right? Like something like this, zoop, and then, yeah, because I heard that it has better cooling. It's a new 3.0 platform and so on. But right now, I'm not super impressed. ID7, on the other hand, you see, this is good stuff, man. Deutsche Autos, yeah. Nice and flat curve. Maybe there is a cap somewhere. Maybe it could have gone even higher, I'm not sure. And then a slight dip. Could this be a little thermal dip? Possibly, instead of going more even. Yeah, that could be it, but still very impressive over all the other ones. And then the Sealion, well, I mean, how good was the Sealion? Well, it was at least beating Tang. But yeah, so now you guys have seen it, yeah? That the Sealion is okay. I tried this during winter. if I had the opportunity, I should try it during summer and see how it goes. Yeah, by the way, since we are talking about the BYD blade batteries and so on, I've seen some comments in the Tang video that maybe it was the same guy, but I heard it many times. Maybe he's spamming. But someone claimed that the BYDs, they are designed to not work. The AC unit is not cannot work below 5 degrees Celsius. I'm like, huh, really? I mean, we have heat pumps in Norway, right? That might have a lower limit of how cold it can go. Yeah, my heat pump here, the Nyland heat pump, it works until around minus 25 degrees Celsius. Then it just, okay, then it runs the PTC heater. So from pulling 4 or 5 kilowatt in the house, suddenly goes into up to 10 kilowatt. I was like, oh shit. But okay, but it rarely gets minus 25 here. Even this winter, no, we didn't have that much. So I mean, that's fine, right? Yeah. But then there are other Nordic heat pumps that goes to minus 30, minus 35 degrees, and they can still have okay COP. I'm just mentioning this because heat pumps might have different designs about how they work best, right? But then supposedly the BYDs, this is what I heard claim, is that it only works until plus 5 degrees Celsius. And then when I did the test, it was colder than 5 degrees Celsius. And supposedly the cooling didn't work. Was it running on only fans? Ich weiß nicht. But this is strange. It needs further investigation. Unfortunately, I didn't have car scanner working. It just didn't show me any data, even though I used a profile that showed me in the list that it was Sealion 7 EU, but I just couldn't get any data there. But I have data on Tang. So maybe this spring or summer we can borrow Tang again, just for educational purposes, and we test again when it's 10 or at least 10 degrees Celsius or warmer, and then we see if we rapid gate or not. So it's not for testing Tang really, it's more like finding out more about how these BYD cars work. Because why do I care about BYD? Well, I've seen it, you guys have seen it also, maybe in your Facebook feed or whatever. From time to time they'll be like, BYD beat Tesla, you know, BYD is the most selling EV. So that's why I just want to see how good are they. The Sealion 7 is pretty good, but seems that the cooling could be better, right? Or maybe, yeah, but then Tesla also uses BYD blade batteries, and the KGM EV, Taurus EV, yeah, whatever called the Korean. But Tesla actually also rapid gates on the Model Y rear-wheel drive. So you actually want to start with a cooler battery, then you can get 170 kilowatt flat until around 50%. But if you start with too hot battery, then it rapid gates actually around 30% or something like that. So it seems like the blade battery is the weakness here, even with the awesome Tesla tech and the genius of Elon Musk. Okay, anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.